Bermudians, but this is your one-stop shop, hopefully, for all of the things that make us uniquely Bermudian and have brought us here so far in this Bermuda island. And in case you're new, I am normally joined, and today is no different, by the one who keeps on turning, Big Will, Willie Ferguson, the co-pilot. Willie, give me a story, my man.
Hey, good afternoon, Corey, and good afternoon, Bermuda.
How you doing, fella?
I'm feeling great.
You know, I hope you're feeling. Are you feeling extra, super duper great?
You know something? When I left home, I was feeling really good.
Okay.
And now that I'm here, I'm going to carry it here too.
Okay, good, because I'm not. And so that's why I asked you, you're feeling super great.
Yeah.
Because I need you to carry some of the weight today about our greatness. So I can't carry some of our greatness today.
Okay, that's fine.
I've just left, in fact, early, I've left a funeral of my late cousin. And let me say, that's not what's put me in the mood, because there was a definite push on a celebration of life. And for those I can say, I think I can say, it was my cousin, Danny Seymour,
Okay.
Who's being laid to rest today.
Great man there.
You know something? I probably shouldn't say this, right? But
Right.
there was one particular tribute by someone who stressed that Danny was no nonsense, that you didn't have to guess what he was thinking, that there were no excuses, and as the person kept talking, I thought, I'm not saying Danny and I were necessarily close, but some of that DNA is definitely DNA. I pictured, somebody could be standing there saying similar words about me. Not so much the sports arena. That's not exactly my strength, as we know. But in terms of mental strength and discipline, or maybe not the discipline part, but how was it put? Rather than focus on your strengths, he will focus on your weaknesses, is what, son, because you already know your strengths. Right. You're doing that well. So you're not going to learn anything from me saying, well done.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a very, very good service, and I had to leave early to come to join you. And I was also told, I don't think she's able to listen yet, but I was given a warning. A lot of things happened about the show during this service, let me just say. Right. Not during this, before, during, and after. So I left because I had to come here, and it was, I would say, the eulogy was probably winding down, and I was barely on time because I really wanted to stay. Reverend Gardner was doing a thing.
Okay.
And I really wanted to stay. But I left it as late as I could. And actually, here's one cousin, so Reverend Gardner must have just finished up, because I could tell you, I didn't want to move. Reverend Gardner was doing a thing.
Okay.
And my cousin, Nikita, who I would imagine most people who don't see her in public, maybe just see her on social media or follow, have no idea how rude she could be.
Oh.
Man.
Not Nikita.
Let me tell you something.
Not Nikita.
Her mother was reading a tribute.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
And Nikita felt...
Are we getting some dirt here?
I'm not sure. I can't be dirt. Everybody saw it. But she injected her own, like, Mom, I think you should say it this way, or you should do this, or Mom,
No.
I'm telling you.
Not at all.
The family sat there, and we stood up there, and I said, that's not the Nikita I know. I know her to be. And, well, she's right. Really? You can ask her.
Nikita, you need to come. You're being summoned.
Well, all I'm saying is it was a family funeral, and the family took part, and Nikita actually read part of the tribute. And all I'm saying is that the first half was being read by Dan Seymour's first cousin. This was also a very clear point made by Nikita. And the second half by the second cousin, which was Nikita. And I was just mentioning, Nikita, you were very sprucey with your corrections and your interjections in the first half of the tribute. Would you like to address that?
Inquiring minds want to know.
Okay.
We want to know.
So we lived in Boston, as you know, right?
Yes.
And so instead of her saying the Barclay, she was saying the Berkeley, because you've got the Berkeley College.
I have
in
no.
Boston.
It's spelled just like that,
So,
and I think she was right.
She was saying the Berkeley, and I
Nothing
said,
wrong
well,
with that.
in Bermuda, it's called the Barclay.
Yeah,
Where-
that's true.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that was just one issue,
That's
and
true.
and guess what? We laughed it off.
Okay.
We absolutely, and then it was
Barclayites
another,
laughed it off.
Yeah.
Barclayites laughed it off. The rest, I was like, for crying out loud.
Well, I'm a Barclayite.
I know that. You're a Berkeleyite.
And
I'm a Barclayite.
You're a Berkeleyite.
Barclay.
Let me tell you, the last funeral you were at, You and I?
Yes.
Someone in the park said, Corey, will you address the Barkley thing next week?
Well,
I remember, and I
But
did.
they weren't from Berkeley.
Yes. You know something? Go on, Nikita.
And then someone, we're reading, and then someone shouted out, greenhouse.
Yes.
Yes.
You see what you people, a
See?
funeral.
Greenhouse.
Where's the
Okay,
decorum? Where's the
brilliant.
decorum and
No,
respect?
so-
It's a celebration of life.
Go greenhouse. Where's the
Yes.
decorum? You Barkleyites are, you Barkleyites?
No,
No,
see, he said it
Barkley.
right
Be
the
with-
first
let me
time.
tell you something.
Barkley,
Yeah,
I
you
see.
Barkley.
I just had to
Yes,
remind
no,
my
no,
mom,
yes.
and I didn't explain it to everybody, but I guess I should have, that, being from Boston,
Yes.
that's what we called it,
Yes.
Because it makes sense. It's spelled Berkeley. It is Berkeley.
Okay. But the
The man's
Barkleyites,
name
I'm
was
not-
Berkeley. Look, the man's name was Bishop Berkeley. How are you changing his name?
Well, you tell that to the rest of the people that
I
went
have.
to the Barkley. I went Whitney.
I was War Academy.
On my fight, I'm out.
I was away. So, needless to say, there was some instant corrections made, and the Berkeleyites will probably feel satisfied that someone corrected.
I would say so.
And so,
Yes.
but it just shows how petty you all can be. That you really think that matters.
I don't know why you just don't live well enough to learn.
Because you all don't understand that you are forcing people to go around this world when they travel to sound like people who don't know how to read. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? You really? No, I didn't. Thought. Yeah. We're done there, right?
Yeah, let's move on.
Okay. So there's something that's been bugging me ever since yesterday
Okay.
that I want to deal with. And I'm not entirely confident that this is going to go well. So have you enjoyed yourself on there?
Oh, yeah. I
Me
am.
too. If we got a message between now and Monday at 2, we've had a bowl, right? We've had a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a good time. I think we've educated some people and empowered some people. I think we've shown what
Yeah.
Bermuda's, so if anything should go left, we've had a bowl, right? You've had, yeah? Okay. Maybe we'll do a podcast that maybe you and I own.
Yes.
But let's just say, I don't know what's going to happen today, really. Maybe you should get out anything you wanted to get out before I start.
Well, I'm here, and I'm enjoying myself. And I'm going to continue to enjoy myself. That's it. Yeah.
So, all right. Really, let me tell you what, and listeners, let me tell you what I wanted to deal with. I am pretty much committed to seeing what Bermuda can achieve in the next 8 years so that at 2034, 200 years after emancipation, we have a completely different story than either 1934, the first century, or even 2024, which hasn't been going great, as we know from the data about being Bermudian. And as a result, I thought I would try to show how we might get the different results. And so by using the late Stuart Hayward's book and article in the journal, Bermuda's Delicate Balance, I wanted to show, and I haven't dealt with that properly. This is what's been plaguing me for 48 hours. I will deal with this book properly. But within it, he deals with the elements of being in Bermuda and being Bermudian. The assumptions made in that book, the ones that were not built on data, but the assumptions were built on being Bermudian because we were all, if you will, on mission, right? We were proud to be Bermudian. We felt Bermuda's another world. It was special. We were unique. We were small. We were talented. We were empathetic and compassionate. We were proud and we praised and we did all of that. And we were God's children.
Right.
And so it was quite easy in the 70s, 80s, and I would say into the early part of this millennium to say something like Bermudianization, and you would know everybody supports it, and you'd know what it meant. Okay. You could say, someone says my Cutbatch team, and you know, right? So it was mission. If I went to nursery school in Southampton, my mates or friends, but my parents got together on their weekend.
Right.
The guys my age in nursery school somewhere else, we had the same, right? It was a full-on united, albeit racially segregated or racially diverse. Being Bermudian was the thing. And one of the things about that, and I just want to kind of trigger people by revealing or saying something that we know, but I'm just going to give it a different perspective.
Okay.
If you can imagine how many Bermudians, black Bermudian families, bought their first home from John W. Swan Limited.
Yeah.
Now, leave aside politics, leave aside currently, I'm just going to stick with me on this one moment. To do that, those black families would have most likely needed mortgages and gotten some sort of borrowing from the bank, which put them on the credit and property ladder. By the time those early families had 2 children, they were looking to buy a second house, or a bigger house, and sell that one. So somebody else is coming on the property ladder, buying the smaller house because they have a starting family. While you got me?
Got you.
This lasted until the mid-90s. And what was happening with my generation anyway, was when my generation was returning from college, 90, 89, 92, something like that, when our parents and the economies were such that they could, if you look at some of the houses my parents' friends built and owned, and some of the houses my friends build and own, is night and day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that size acreage today for that price, right? You wouldn't, okay? So what was happening is my generation was coming back, and I didn't do this, my brother, but some did, where they would buy the condo or the cottage, and the parents were moving to the smaller property because that's all they need, and they will now grow their family in what was now the family homestead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this happened. So a lot of that assumption was known, right? If you were in college, I want to buy a house. Of course you do.
Yes.
You're Bermuda. You're in college. Right? Today, if you ask a young person whether they want to own a house, I don't even think they allow themselves the desire.
No.
They say, how am I going to afford that? Right? So the desire, and therefore, if that desire isn't there, is the value of owning a piece of the rock still there?
Gotcha.
So we can make assumptions it's still there. But if that's not the case, and then you reverse engineer, how did we get here?
Yeah.
How did that happen? So these are the kinds of things been in my mind for 2 days, and I'm after something very specific I'm going to get to. But it's because the disconnect, really, that's what occurred to me early this morning. We here, the average Bermudian, the voter, the taxpayer, the one who's not an MP, not a minister, not a senator, not a CEO of a reinsurance company, not a managing partner of a law firm, just your average person, right? I think the disconnect between us, the average person, and our political leaders is such. This show has let me know how big that bridge needs to be. Or how wide that gap is.
Right.
Okay. And I brought one thing with me today to show the difference.
Okay.
And this is what I'm nervous about. Not gonna lie. Okay. It's the thing that might send us somewhere else. But I'm gonna do it this way around. When I was thinking about this show, Billy, and thinking about what we were gonna do today and how we're gonna talk about it, I was gonna go from A to Z. Let's just, as an example, well, not all that way, but I was going in that order. Something is telling me go in the opposite direction.
Okay.
So we're going for it. Just lock the door. No, all right. I brought up something without giving proper context, and it's been bugging me that I didn't give the context.
Okay.
And it's not that it was unfair. It's not that it was untrue. It's not that I misled anybody or anything like that. But I just really felt the disconnect between the point I was trying to make and where our listeners, Bermudians, are.
Right. Okay.
So I'm going to raise something. I believe that the average voter in the country, if you ask them to define corruption in public office, right, in parliamentary terms or political terms, they will define corruption. My guess, everyone has the same sort of definition. Okay? Somebody getting something because they bribed somebody, or not getting something because they bribed somebody or promised somebody. Something untoward went down. That's the part of the iceberg you see.
Right.
Okay, so that's the part you see. The layer below that is the racial and political war that seemingly raged, by my calculations, from the early 60s until 1998.
Mm-hmm.
And that was who got money
Right.
from the government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, due to how that played out, government giving money to particular businesses or entrepreneurs or ideas, whatever it is,
Right.
that was, in as far as it was corrupt, I don't think we've ever charged anybody with corruption.
No. Yeah.
So it wasn't corrupt by definition of law, not by practice, not by the culture of Bermudians, not what we think is corrupt or we say is corrupt.
Right.
Got me?
Mm-hmm.
And so the problem with politics and racism was now, when the government changes in 1998, I mentioned the fact that in a remarkable moment of vision, Dame Jennifer said we don't have to take the lowest bid.
Okay.
That was the only way you could break all of that commerce
Yes.
and all of those government contracts of the years.
Yes.
Because they would most definitely be able to have the low. You're still trying to set up your company. This may be your first contract,
Right.
because you were working as a senior supervisor over here, always ready, able to do your own
Yes.
thing. And now you do your own thing, but you don't have everything.
Capital. Yeah.
Right? So to make the playing field level, that was one of Dame Jennifer's biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
That, and telling everybody she bumped into, incorporate a company. I don't care if it's a cleaning company, clean offices. I don't care if it's just everybody incorporate a company, because it had to be this turnover
Yes.
of who made money in this country, because the haves and have-nots were very obvious,
Yes.
particularly using the public purse.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't start out with anything of corruption, because as far back as Tucker's Town, you had Gosling
Right.
and the rest who selling their souls for Furnace Whitty, and then even gave up being parliamentarians to go work for that company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Gosling was the chairman of the Trade Development Board and his family made rum the only Bermudian rum, how much rum do you think ended up with tourist hands if the same person who's in charge of the tourists is in charge of the liquor?
Wow. Yes.
Not corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on and on and on. Okay? You have a
Yeah. Where does conflict of interest
so
come into that?
we're coming to that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So after corruption,
Right.
part of the racism that went on
Yes.
meant that, and I can tell you, well, a dog whistle, right, is something that a whistle in the real world that only dogs can hear.
Yes.
Yeah. So you blow the whistle, but if you're not a dog, you're not going to hear it.
Right.
In racism, a dog whistle is something that is said that you can't label as racist, but it signals it to your fellow racists.
Okay.
So, for instance, when I said those cyclists were thugs, it takes some mental exercise to picture those people as thugs, right?
Yes.
But what if I said, walking to the studio today, I saw some thugs? You have a whole different picture, don't you?
Yes, I
okay,
do.
so you see what I mean by dog
Yes.
whistle. Okay. And so the dog whistle that was used by the opposition UBP, because they saw the money shifting, was friends and family. The PLP only gives money to friends and family. Friends and family, friends and family. And the argument from the PLP back was, that's either racism, because you think the people who are getting unqualified simply because they're friends, all friends, or all family, but you know, you really mean black. Okay, so that's the point. And or can you tell us somebody who's unqualified, who's getting these contracts?
Right.
Well, you know when that collapsed? You know when the Berkeleyites, because your Barclayites would never have done this, so the Berkeleyites gave in was the construction of the new
Yes.
school.
Yes.
It was a consortium of black men, right? And does anybody, how many of those people are still in business today as construction company people?
I don't know.
Do you see this?
Yes, I do.
And under whose, okay?
Yes.
So What I'm trying to get at is friends and family was a dog whistle.
Yeah.
But because you get to point your finger at as racism, you do not get to do friends and family.
Yes.
Because they don't dare say it because you're going to say, okay. Which brings us to the two things. The first thing that you brought up, which I would say is the minor version, conflict of interest.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you some direct experience with that. And the other one is ethics.
I was going to, anyway.
No, what? Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that. Ethics. It may not be unlawful, but it's unethical.
And I think the interesting thing for me about ethics is you set your own standard.
Yes.
No, because if you're challenged
Yes.
and you say, maybe it's unethical, but it's not illegal, then that person knows you're prepared to go right up to the line of legality.
Yes.
Like everything's on the table.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Who trusts that person? Okay? So if you do... Okay, so I'm going to give you all right, let's deal with... It's a personal story.
Sure.
In 2012, thereabouts, I had, on my own, put together a proposal for a water park in Bermuda. Yeah, a pretty big one.
Okay.
And in doing all of this, I made a business plan and contacted the suppliers. And it was, by the way I was looking at it and playing it out, highly profitable. Now, what happened? Within, say, 2 months of me completing this, and there wasn't nobody to give it to, it was just for my own, right? But within 2 months of this, I was contacted by then, well, I don't know which came first, but Minister Sean Crockwell, to be a consultant to him and his ministry.
Right.
Now, at this point, I have a business plan that I think's pretty good. And if you have this business plan, I think it might be profitable. So I made an appointment with the director or the acting director of the Office of Procurement and Project Management.
Got you.
Okay, the government department.
Right.
Okay. And I went in, and I think she was acting at the time. I think she was Scottish or English. And I went in, and I said, "Hi, my name's Corey Butterfield. Nice to meet you, Mr. Butterfield. What can I do for you?" I said, "Well, here's my dilemma. I have a business plan here, and I think it's a pretty good business plan." I didn't have it with me, but I told her.
Right.
And it's for a water park. And she said, "Okay." And I said, "But I've been taken on a post with the Minister of Tourism.
Okay.
And to me, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do this business plan, even if I had the money to, which I didn't. But I've come to see you because if I sell this business plan to somebody, they may think the fact that I'm a consultant to the minister, this is going to go through.
Right.
And so I don't want to sell it. I don't want to, like, what do I do?" And she almost started laughing at me. I'm telling you that story because that's my standard of ethics.
Yes.
Okay? That's my personal standard. There was nobody... Crockwell doesn't know I had this business plan. I wasn't even a minister, MP, a civil servant. I was nobody.
Got you.
Why in the world did I make an appointment to go see that person? My personal values, my personal integrity, my personal standard.
Okay.
I'm telling you that because that was my ethics.
Got you.
Got me? And so that's why I'm saying it reveals. To that person I went to go see, they were like, "What is he doing here? We don't even see members of the public who blah, 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 whatever." Or they thought, "My word, this guy is crazy."
But shouldn't it be a standard?
It depends on your own. So let me
Yes.
tell you now what she said to your point of conflict of interest.
Right.
Mr. Butterfield, I said, "Well, I don't thought it'd be a conflict of interest, my ethics."
Right.
Mr. Butterfield, let me tell you something about Bermuda. This person was non-Bermudian, okay? So Bermuda is a very small place.
Yeah.
And so somebody is always going to know somebody. Somebody's cousin is always involved or might be involved. So just so you know, the standard here is that you put it out there. You communicate it. So if you are really looking at potential applicants and I'm your first cousin,
Right.
you don't say, "Well, I'm not hiring him as my first cousin." What you do is you say to the other people on the panel, "Hey, this is my first cousin.
Yes.
I just want to let you know.
Disclosure.
Right? And then they can make the decision or not. Right. It's the not knowing that creates.
Yes.
So the conflict exists.
Yes.
It's whether because of we're tight knit, small family, whatever it is, it's whether or not you tell people about the conflict.
Yes.
So they can say, oh, no, we're going to hire Willie's cousin. Why would we do that? We're not going to hire, right?
Right.
But your cousin still gets a fair shot.
Yes.
They're not discriminated against because you're their cousin.
Relative, yeah.
Okay? So when so the conflict of interest, corruption, ethics, all of that is such a gray cloud. But I didn't realize how much trust taxpayers and regulars are putting in our political leaders, that they are doing sort of our version of conflict of interest. Or you're not breaching our Bermudian ethics.
Right.
Well, they don't exist.
Yeah.
Somebody said, common sense isn't common. Imagine how rare common ethics are. Or common views of conflict of interest.
Especially where money is involved.
Especially where money is involved.
Yep.
And because of that, I brought a couple of things in to highlight some of the things that happen that are neither unethical,
right,
illegal, corrupt, okay? But are we happy with them as people? Gotcha. We wouldn't know about them because, like I said, it's just the trust that we have that this isn't happening or this is happening or whatever it is. But also, like I keep saying, these reports that I read out,
right,
these are government reports. So they do tell us.
Yes.
It's not hidden. It's not, I haven't met some retired permanent secretary who downloaded the USB and I'm meeting them behind the bus terminal up there. No. This is not that's not what's going on.
But I do have a question for you.
Okay.
When people are involved, say it's 4 people involved in a company, and say they go off Jam, okay? Jam Co.
Oh, Jen.
Well, no, let me use something else.
Yeah.
Okay, King Co. And you have to do some investigating to see exactly who is involved in that business.
Right.
For you to know who is involved and then connect some dots.
Absolutely right.
I think that plays a part of it too.
Massively. Oh, absolutely.
And what I've seen, especially in the last couple of years, is people involved in companies, but it's not until they get a contract or whatever and people start talking and they say, well, isn't he this person and he belongs to this? And why is this? It's a conflict of interest.
That's my point.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about today.
Yes, I got you.
So that conflict of interest that, let's say, people say, I think that because of our history, and I mean 1700s,
right?
Okay, and then something else I'm going to read. I think our history is such that that person that would say, "Isn't that a conflict?"
Yeah.
Somebody would say yes, and somebody could even say, "So what?"
Exactly.
So let's try this, Billy.
Yeah.
Let's play this out. Corey, isn't that a conflict? Yes, Billy, it is.
That's it.
I'm asking you. Tell me what's next. It's your question, right?
Well,
so you say, Corey, isn't that a conflict? Yep.
Yeah.
Now what?
So, yeah, what's going to happen?
I have no clue. That's what I'm trying to say. There is, right? And so let me just read. No, these are publications.
Yeah.
I'm going to read. Okay. And this one here, if anybody wants to follow along, and I strongly recommend you do, at least that way, I'll be able to have a witness when. All right.
Right.
I'll tell you what. So what we're looking at today is if you recall, the government combined the BLDC, Crengo, and Redco into the Bermuda Land Management Corporation, the BLMC. And the BLMC they need to update their website. I strongly suggest they do that.
Yes.
They probably won't do it before some of our listeners click on, but I suggest they update it. I would if I was them. But I need to read this to you. So really, this is a patty disclosure And as you know, under the party legislation, anybody knows this, I know you do. So I'm not even saying I'm not even saying this for your benefit. I'm saying for the benefit of our listeners.
Okay.
Because I know how you and Patty get along. But under the any institution, organization, ministry, department, Quango body that fit like Southampton Parish Council, let's say. If you go on the Information Commissioner's website, ICO, I think it's .gov.bm or ICO.bm, you'll see all the entities that Patty applies to.
Yes.
And so Patty applies to the BLMC. Mm-hmm. And because of that, and government, every contract over $50,000 has to be disclosed. So yesterday, that's where I was talking about the $732,000 contract for bunker sand for Port Royal.
Yeah.
It was in the official gazette, right? So there's no, like I said, it's just published in the official gazette. It has to be. And this is one of those things, right, that came from people. The government didn't say, hey, great idea. Let's tell everybody about every contract over 50.
Yes.
It came from us. This is, okay. So I'm just going to disclose here or tell you here about a disclosure for BLMC, and it's in the official gazette. If anybody wants to go on the gov.bm, click on the official gazette, and if you want, this one is actually GN, so government notice 0192. So it's the most likely the 192nd disclosure of 2025. So the number is GN 0192/2025.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, and it's dated the 7th of February 2025. This is a list of contracts that were over 50,000 that the Bermuda Land Management Corporation awarded. Mm-hmm. And there's two in particular I want to draw your attention to. One is for the North Arm Security Services, and the other one is Site Security Services. And these are 3-year contracts. They start May 1st, 2024, and expire April 30th, 2027. So they're 3 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. And there are 2 separate contracts. And they were awarded to GET Limited. And the contract value for the North Arm Security Services was $450,000. And the contract for the Site Security Services was $941,220. So, like I said, $450,000 for the North Arm Security Services and $941,220 for the Site Security Services. Mm-hmm. And that contract was dated February 2025. Now, if you go on the website right now, and I said they need to update it, but they list the executive management, the management, all the staff are listed there.
Okay.
But it begins with the board of directors. And that's where I want to focus.
Okay.
And so this contract was awarded to GET Limited. And one of the board directors is a Kevin Smith, who says he's the CEO of GET Limited.
Okay.
So it would appear that the CEO of GET Limited sits on the board that awarded those 2 contracts. Now, he may take it easy. Okay. My guess is he would recuse himself from the deliberation of the contract. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But it's see how easy it is to read?
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then if I tell you the chair was Neville Tyrrell MP, and Dennis Lister the 3rd MP, and Emily Gale Dill MP all serve on that, right? I could understand how it looks without explanation.
Yes.
Now, to be clear, the 29th of January 2026, 5 days ago, the BLMC board was published. Mr. Smith is no longer on the board.
Okay.
It still, Neville Tyrrell, Dennis Lister III, Stephen Dattles, Paul Wilmot MP, Jerome Reed, Dr. Emily Gill, Dill MP, and then Hadley Ferreira, who I think may be ex officio, only because I know him to be a controller in government, but he may be there properly. Okay? So, you see, this is the very point I'm making. Some people might think, well, hold on. This is a Quango. That means there's a minister responsible.
Yeah.
Right? So the minister of works in engineering. Mm-hmm. Okay? Who at the time was a Warwick MP. The chair at the time was a Warwick MP. And there were other MPs on the board. So when you give the contract to somebody who sits on the board, it's not even about anything conflict, corrupt, friends and family. It's just they also do the contract at Magistrates Court.
Okay.
Which was published the other day as well. And so when I was talking about some of the construction, it's because of what the country, being Bermudian, in 1933, the Attorney General stood up and said this: "Thank goodness we in this colony have not got a democratic institution. Thank goodness. I think the sole reason why we still have representative institutions in this colony and have not gone the way of a great many sister colonies is due to the fact that we are not a democratic country. We are an oligarchy." Now, that was just bold, right? We're an oligarchy. We're not even a democracy. Don't even try, right? And that was the Attorney General saying it in Parliament, right? It wasn't drunk at some Rotary Club after party, right?
Yes.
He stood up in Parliament. So, what I'm getting at is, as long as we aren't certain about the Bermuda we want, about the standards, or if we don't have a political class of highly competitive politicians,
Right.
we're still going to hear stuff on the Being Bermuda Corey Butterfield show, rather than having it discussed properly by other journalists, opposition MPs. The two parties themselves come together to discuss it.
Yes.
Some charity that looks for integrity in public office. What I'm getting at is, where does it come from, if not us? And so, without alleging anything untoward, you asked about conflict of interest. I just read, these are published.
Right.
I don't believe these are thought to be conflicts of interest. That somebody on the board who has a company,
Right.
got contracts around $3 million over a 3-year period, right? And they cheers an MP, and that board answers to a minister.
Yes.
We just need clarity to protect everybody's reputation. Because on the one hand, you have a Corey Butterfield who went to go to see procurement when the contract, I'm talking about selling a business plan to just somebody out here. And on the flip side, somebody puts a proposal in to get a contract on a cranker they serve on.
Yes. I got you.
And so that's my thing, that I haven't just come out on Monday and said, folks, I gave it some thought over the weekend, and this is what we need in 2034. The chamois, as I keep saying, has been wrung out. Okay? Yeah. Because that contract, and the current board has, as far as I can tell, 3 government MPs on it.
Yes.
Okay? Now, if those government MPs are cool with it, well, they are, right? The contract's still there. So, again, I'm just saying we need clarity on these things so that people's reputations aren't dragged through the mud, so that there's something, it was declared, like I'm saying, I met this guy, Smith. I doubt very much he sat in those deliberations to get the contract. I doubt very much, okay? But somebody with nefarious intention could put his position on that board on a billboard and put it up East Broadway.
So true. Yeah.
And now he's out trying to explain, well, actually, no. My company is the only one certified by the U.S. government in order to offer peer services, or whatever it is.
I got you. Yeah.
That's why, because the cognitive dissonance of racism and powerlessness by us is what causes the conflict. The other thing I need to say, just hold on a minute, Cole. I'll take you in a minute. But the other thing I wanted to say, really, was I keep something on my phone. Right, and I understand people will think, oh, he's going after him again, or his auntie, whatever. You can think you know where I stand on that.
Yes, I know.
But I would just say this: the true warrior, and if people think I'm got some of that in me, the true warrior, the true one, the one like you and I, really,
right,
the ones who've been out there, we don't fight wars because we hate what's in front of us.
Right,
we fight wars because we love who's behind us. That's why we're here. I'm not here just to take out anybody. That's not it.
Right.
But I love you and this country to such an extent. I hate when we're being lied to and manipulated, exploited.
Yes.
bamboozle and hoodwink, as my cousin Maury said. Hi, caller.
Oh, good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Good
Fine, thank you.
afternoon.
I'm calling because I have a question concerning Cooper's Island.
Okay.
I was wondering, was our ancestors ever buried on Cooper's Island? The reason I'm asking this question is because in 2023, 6 of us had visited the island and walking towards the tower down there. I felt a spirit jump on me, like a child's spirit jump on me, gripping my neck.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I tried to find out information from the Bermuda Library, the archives, the Dockyard Museum, the St. George's Museum, 6 different places, and no one could answer me.
Really? Okay.
They acted as if I was asking whether aliens were buried there.
Oh, my God.
And guess what? I'm tough, so I took it.
All right. Well, I tell you, I don't know the answer right now, but I'm written it down. I will jump on this because I have a couple of other things I might check that might give us some answers there. For instance, I think that was where Cooper's Island was, where some guys were banished who were plotting against our first governor Moore, and they.
That's right. That's what someone did tell me from St. George's.
Yes, but it was so bad that they repented and came back to the mainland. I was trying to figure out what the main difference was between Cooper's Island and the mainland back then. But no, I will definitely work on that one for you. I don't know the answer off the top of my head. No problem at all.
Thank you. And I did find out that when we're always crossing the causeway, there's about 100 of our people that were slaves at that time that's buried down there.
Oh, my.
Oh, my.
The entrance to the causeway, so we're driving to our ancestors. Sad.
It is.
Yes.
Very sad.
Yes.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
no, thank you.
I'll
Thank
be
you.
listening
All
anytime
right.
you find out information.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you.
Good.
Okay.
Have
Oops. Sorry. So I'm actually
That's interesting.
made a note of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's
I'm
a
gonna-
good dig for you.
Oh, you know me. I like a little rabbit hole.
I know.
like a little rabbit hole.
I
I'm
know.
gonna
We're going to have a book over that one. No, but it's good. It's good. You know?
Yeah. So the thing is the reason why the reason why I read that part from 1933 about the oligarchy,
Right.
is that the country cannot, and Jack Tucker said it, and Craig Simmons, and every economist is just such blatant that a more diverse economy
Right.
is stronger. So diverse participants in a sector in an economy is actually strong too.
Yeah.
And we talk here, and I'll give you an example. We talk about prices,
Right.
okay? And I believe that it is marketplace's strategy that the price of a tin of corn in Somerset Marketplace is the same as Modern Mart.
Right.
Okay, I think that's their business model.
Yes.
And that certainty will give their bottom line certainty. You got me?
Got you.
But you know what else? What other certainty that brings?
What's that?
That you can find the cheaper option.
Yes. Okay.
Because if Marketplace is the monopoly, and then you have Arnold's or Miles that are specialty, they don't have the buying power of the main monopoly.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, like I mean, I'm not a numbers guy. Like, trust me, there's some people listening to this. Corey is not trying to talk accounting. Like, he needs to shut up before he says something really stupid.
You know, one thing I do understand is that it's very important how wealth is distributed, in particular on this island.
And that's why I'm bringing up
Yes.
that security
Yes.
contract.
Yes.
That's why the sand. Because there are black construction companies, Bermudian, who have left this island.
Wow.
Okay? And so they would say they couldn't get the work. They don't get the work.
Right.
I was talking to a cousin just now before the funeral who works for a major construction company. And he was telling me some of the stuff he faces from non-Bermudians on the site.
Really?
Right? Oh, the confidence they have, the lack of respect of us they have. Okay? I just believe me, I could, right? And that's why I try to keep at system level.
Yes.
I try, even when our caller sometimes I try to raise it to system level, right? Because believe me,
Right.
I probably have a ton more than you do about, how rough things can get out here.
Yes.
Which brings me to the delicate balance, which was revisited in 91. Let me give you some things here, okay?
Right.
So the version I'm reading comes out in 91.
Yes.
Yes? Do you know when Stuart Hill was in Parliament?
70s,
No.
80s.
No. So, well, here's the deal. Okay?
Right.
He then becomes an MP.
Yes.
Well, while he may care about which ink RB in so-and-so reuses,
Yes.
his thing was being able to keep living on this island,
Yes.
right? And then in that, you heard me, do we want every Bermudian who wants one to be able to have a home?
Right.
Do we want, right? And if you balance that against something else, and okay, so that created sustainable development. It was such an impactful document that it said the amount of houses that are built, the amount of people we let in,
Right.
the amount of all of that has to be balanced against our future,
Okay.
right?
Got you.
What is Bermuda's carrying capacity? That was something that came out all the time. We don't really discuss that now because it's a suppressed or depressed economy is what they're saying, or we need more people here. So the chances of overpopulation aren't really here, but the chances of over non-Bermudian are real and happening.
Yes.
And so we gave in rather than do what Stuart Haywood recommended. So that document came out in the face of major growth. If you recall, I read a number that Haywood had given us was that the Bank of Bermuda's assets went from 406 million to 3.8 billion in 12 years. Right? That's phenomenal growth.
Yes.
Okay, it's a lot if you think to get there. So when Haywood is doing that, the country says, hold on, we need a foundation of sustainability. Okay,
Right.
that works. Now, come 93, thereabouts, issues. Okay? So on goes. Independence referendum of 95 fails. And it's thought among certain classes that the UBP actually lost the 93 election.
Okay.
But some untoward shenanigans. Wait, no, we can't use that. That's what they say we do. We got to come up with a different word. we do shenanigans.
Yeah, we earned that.
Yeah, we got to get a different word. But some hanky-panky
Okay.
might have gone on. I don't think it did. But I was told by some pretty serious people that some ballots were found in the place. So the 98 election result, I was told by even some UBP people, was a backlash because they probably lost 93. By 98, people are going to make sure they lost.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So,
yes.
okay, now, Dame Jennifer comes in 98. Instant. No more wandering abroad.
Yes.
And each person has a vote of equal weight.
yes.
And we read stuff on air about the weight of a vote in Paget versus the weight of a vote in Pembroke. And
Yes.
right? Dame Jennifer does her thing. The next election is held in 03. And that was because, again, another principle. She was not going to contest another election on the dual seats.
Yes.
She wanted one vote, one person, each vote of equal value.
Yes.
And it was a push to get that done in time of the 5-year, right? Because that's what
Yes.
her sacrosanct pledge. So at that 03 election now, when there's disputes amongst MPs, Alex Scott is the compromised premier, right? He came out and said, I'm the reluctant premier.
Right.
Well, the reluctant premier drove the social agenda, the ombudsman,
Yes.
and Patty.
Yes.
I want you to understand what the mindset of that black man, not even call him politician, premier, or minister,
Right.
to identify those three things. One was if your misconduct by public officers will not be covered up anymore.
Okay.
And if you read his remarks around setting up the ombudsman, you're thinking, wow. Okay. And just as you get impressed with the ombudsman, read what he says about why Patty, whose information it is,
Yes.
who ought to have the information,
Yes.
and contrast that with the premier who wants to charge people for information. Contrast that.
Got you.
If somebody says it takes too much. This, I want you, what I'm trying to get at is imagine implementing Patty in this country.
Right.
Okay? Just imagine, right? You mean, I could hear the meetings. What do you mean? People get everything? Everything.
Right.
You mean, if we decide everything, it's, remember, we serve them. They pay our salary. What do you want that they don't know?
I'm sitting here and I'm going to say this. The beauty of what took place with Alex Scott's thinking was that he came from an era when he was in opposition.
You notice.
No, but deep opposition.
Yes.
I mean, floggings and floggings and floggings over elections, where we would go to the polls and we were like, another 5 years, another 5 years. But he went through all of that to get to the point where they won government. So that was the opportunity to make things a fairer Bermuda.
You don't say.
Yes.
There you go. So imagine nothing to Patty.
Jeez.
Okay? Imagine people who might have applied for status and didn't get it and don't know why.
Right.
Imagine
Yes.
planning department rule that where you watch somebody, you objected, and yet they still got it.
But we came to an era where they felt as if you were not entitled to that information.
Mate, imagine you want to know how many English people they gave Bermudan status to in the late 80s.
Yes.
So
Yes.
through that mindset, through that national philosophy,
Yes.
with that relationship between the elected and those who do elect you,
Yes.
he opened it up
Yes, he did.
in Patty, in the ombudsman, and then said, our decision making as a government will be founded on a social agenda and the people of Bermuda being served.
But that's principle.
You know what he said?
What?
Bermuda works best when we work together.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And here we are. How do we get here then? Well, within the PLP, I'm not going to say anything I don't know. But much like you see in the OBA in front page today,
Yes.
there's clearly a civil war going on in the OBA. If there wasn't, he would have stepped on, given what the headline says,
Yes.
right? You just, hey, people want you to go, I'm going.
Yes.
I don't think you stay when people want you to leave. Well, maybe some people do,
Right.
right? But you're like, hey, we want you going.
Yes.
Check it later. I'll take my leave, as they say,
Yes.
right? But if he's staying, somebody's saying, no, don't leave. Those people don't know. So there's
Okay.
clearly a civil war going on.
Yes.
This is the nature of party politics, right? So something happened because the social agenda was launched properly, the throne speech of 2004. But at the leadership elections of 2006, Alex Scott was replaced.
Yes.
And the social agenda was never to be seen again. So I'm raising both the delicate balance, the BLMC contract awards, and the social agenda
Right.
to show that, generally speaking, in Bermuda, governments operate under some type of philosophy. There's some sort of foundation.
Yeah.
So if Alex Scott had to read out jobs at the rate that we've had to hear him, he wouldn't read that to us without saying, no, I feel about these numbers like you do.
Yes.
In fact, I would imagine if I was an immigration or labor minister
Right.
and somebody, my staff, presented me with those numbers before I came to you, public, you all be getting copies of my letters I wrote to the Chamber of Commerce, ABIC, to whomever.
Yes.
Okay? You'd have understood that I will not be here before you next year reading numbers even remotely close to this.
Exactly.
And you want to know how I know? I put a moratorium on work permits.
Yes.
if everybody could move around anyway,
Yeah.
without having to leave the country, why? Okay, I would, right? Because having a Bermuda without Bermudians isn't Bermuda.
No.
Having a Bermuda where the Bermudians are between uber rich and servants isn't Bermuda.
Right.
This was the country where you get a good education, get a good job, get married, have
Yes.
children, get a house.
Yes.
I don't know if that matters now. It matters to me, and I'm prepared to work for it, but I think greed has come in. And let me tell you why I'm raising this. And we're going to take a little break in a minute, really.
Okay.
But the reason I brought up this greed thing is I was trying to figure out what that big change was. I mean, I have a fairly good idea. But what I thought I would do is just, I took a tour of old speeches that politicians made, or columns, letters to the editor, things like that. And so I'm going to read just a small, I'm catching really off guard with this one, folks. Big time. And so please don't hold this against me, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I am catching you off guard biblically a little bit.
Okay.
Are you aware of the book of Deuteronomy?
Yes.
Okay. In Deuteronomy chapter 28, within there's an enemy who is warned of. And I'm going to give this relevance in a minute.
Okay.
So back in 2013, an MP was trying to flug an MP from another party. So I'm doing it this way because the identities don't matter when I'm trying to speak about the political classes in the country and how this stuff plays out for us. So this person, in their kind of column, wrote, in the book of Deuteronomy, mention is made of a, in quotes, nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And then they went on to then make the political digs that they wanted. And so I thought, well, what's in Deuteronomy about a nation of fierce countenance? Are you? So this, I don't put you off guard, but are you aware of the nation of fierce countenance?
No, I'm not.
Right. Neither was I. And so it shows up in Deuteronomy 28:50, if anybody wants to check it out. But what it is, it's a stern is an understatement. It's a warning
Right.
about those who don't hearken themselves to God's word, what's going to happen to them and their cities and their people, and the curse is going to hit you in the city and you in the field. And the woman who is so quiet and gentle, she doesn't even step outside, is going to put a foot on your neck. And the man who is gentle and won't even do it, he's going to stab you. And you're, all of that, right? And they go on and on and on. And so the actual MP, I felt, didn't have a great relationship with the Bible because the way they used it wasn't quite relevant.
Right. Okay.
But I looked at this and I hope this isn't blasphemy, because if not, my cousin Maury will call, I'm sure, or talk with my grandpa. But I just want to read a little bit about this. And it's biblical, and but Deuteronomy 28. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and gladness of your heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against you. And he's talking about the enemies that's going to be sent. And the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flies, a nation whose tongue you shall not understand. Right? So they're going to speak language. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, and until you be destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of kin or flocks of sheep, until he has destroyed you. You know what I took that to be in a secular way?
What's that?
Greed. Watch me drop greed in this. If you don't have empathy and compassion, greed is going to come that hasn't been here before. It's going to come from the countries in which you're allowing people to set up castles. And they will come before you know it. Well, if 560 get jobs over 18 in 1 year, that's as swift as the eagle flies. And so this nation of fierce countenance is greed. It does not show favor to the old because now they have to work
Yes.
and still pay tax, payroll tax. Nor the young. The greed that's not creating the opportunities in this country is causing our young to emigrate.
Yes.
And we aren't producing anything. And what we do produce is going to pay the debt.
Yeah.
And what we do produce is giving raises to MPs. And what we do,
Yeah.
and so, and ye shall be left few in number. Whereas before, you were as the stars of the heavens for multitude. All of this because you will not obey the voice of the Lord.
Wow.
We are, I'm not going biblical, although if I was my grandpa, I could definitely make a sermon from this. In fact, I could make a sermon from this right now. Okay? But instead, it's the greed part. We are, right, suffering. What's the difference, right, between where we are and what I just read?
There's no difference. We are really in a pickle. I'm going to be honest with you. I received my calls last night, and I've got another one now. I never really got my number, but
Yeah, the street, bro. Maybe.
Yeah. So he called me up, and the first thing coming out of his mouth, "Oh, you know me?" I said, "Yes, I know you." And I didn't say, "Where did you get my number?" But I had a conversation with him, and he said, "You know something, Billy?" I said, "What?" He says, "I'm really suffering, you know. I'm really, really suffering, and I see no way out." This is a man who, he has to be about 72. He still has to work. He's got his children. He's trying to help them. And it's just say it. No, it's worse than say it.
No, I was just going to say, maybe I wouldn't let you get away with that one.
Okay? It's just a bad situation. So he's going to work until he dies. That's reality of where we are now.
Right, and what I'm getting at is that not caring about the young or the old or the middle or whatever, he's working. Okay? And we have a system that's not saying, by the way, we had this new tax coming in, we got it, so you can choose to retire at 62. You don't have to, right? We are making up some, no. And is going to give tax credits for certain donations. Caller, can you turn your radio down a bit? You're on the air.
Yes, I was calling about something that it's too late to change, but when you've been talking about home ownership and things being too pricey for Bermudians and Bermudians not growing up and getting married and having a family and owning a home, in the 90s or at one point, there was a limited number of houses. It was like one constant number of houses that people that weren't non-Bermudian could earn. And that number didn't change because that was the only houses that were available.
Absolutely.
Then at some point, there was a couple real estate agents who seemed like they had some sort of big influence. And at first you started having the people could get condos, I think. But then you ran into this thing where they invented this ARV thing, and any house over a certain ARV would be available to non-Bermudians. And I think that's what drove up the price of homes, is people started increasing this ARV thing, and then people that weren't Bermudians could start buying houses, which meant that it was getting harder for Bermudians to at least own the higher end level house. What has happened?
You are spot on.
I haven't heard you mention that, so I was just bringing that up.
No problem.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Right.
So the gentleman is spot on.
Yes.
Right? They call it the ARV, but it's again why there's a breach of the trust I'm saying has been breached. So he's absolutely right. The ARV came up, annual rental value.
Right.
If your ARV is above a certain level, then a non-Bermudian could purchase it. The thing was before, those being purchased by people who weren't living here. Like they come spend for the summer, so they own the house. That's how wealthy they were. And that's how wealthy you had to be to even look at a house in Bermuda that you were going to buy that you probably were not going to live in for 12 months a year.
Yes.
The government has lowered that ARV. And part of the problem is the lowering of the ARV or the ARV is what we see. You know what we don't see?
What's
the
that?
greed. And so what happens is, I'm Joe Bermudian, okay?
Right.
And I want a house that is very, very nice, that a non-Bermudian can also purchase, right?
Yeah.
But I want it. Okay? The non-Bermudian outbids me,
Yeah.
and they get it.
Yeah.
That's it. So the other side is that the person that would have bought a $7 million house can now buy a $3.5 million, but they still have the $7 million to spend.
Right.
Right? So now the $3.5 million house becomes $5 million. And that Bermudian who's going to buy the $3.5, guess what they do to the $2.5 million house? They offer $285. This is how it happens. So yes, that ARV if you will, formalize what they can buy.
Yes.
And then you allow the real estate agencies to be purchased by Sotheby's and
Yeah.
Coldwell Banker. That's not Bermudian real estate culture.
Yeah.
And so look at who the real estate agents are. Like literally go on the websites. Try to find somebody who looks like you and me.
Wow.
So then because if you think about the racism in some of the neighborhoods, how do you think that neighborhood is really white?
Yes.
And that one's really black?
Yes.
And how do you think they don't show you that house because it's in that neighborhood or show...
Yes.
You're supposed to be taking a break. Really? What happened?
No, well.
Hey, caller.
Interest.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wheel and Mr. Corey. How
Yes, sir.
you doing?
Good afternoon.
That was a beautiful piece you read just now. It seemed like you left out something, but really good. I was reading last week in my book, and I came across this word, and I wasn't familiar with it. Avarice. A-R-I-C-I.
Oh, boy. Please
And I
define
looked it
that. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry to cut you off. But if you can please give us the definition. Avarice, if anybody didn't hear him, it's avarice. A-V-A-R-I-C. Man, thank you for this call. Please.
A-R-I-C-I-C-E.
Yep,
Avarice.
R-I-C-E.
Greed, to consume greedily. Now, what you were saying about the people consuming, a large part of that is I don't know if you've heard of Gog and Magog.
No.
Hello?
No, afraid not.
Gog and Magog are the European nations of oil.
Oh, got you. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Europeans, and they came out of Europe, and they
Yeah.
went over the whole earth, and they're controlling everything. So that word avarice also comes up in relation to them because they're greedily consuming everything. They want to go in every nation and just take control and steal and just take. And then the last part where you read, when you said it's going to come to an end, yes, we're not too far off from that.
I'm with you.
Yes,
Mighty
it's
God
true.
is going to bring about equity and justice in this world. And those people are going to be destroyed for what they're doing. Still doing it. You see?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's very important what you read. Very important.
Oh, thank you.
And the people have to look at. Another thing you were saying about the let my mind. You were saying something earlier about the
Conflict of interest, was it that one?
that thing you done up about the water park.
Oh, right.
You should put that forward again. The reason why I'm saying this is that if you remember when the OBA lost that election and PLP got in, Cross Island was sitting there and they made promises. They were saying we're going to make that Cross Island into an entertainment section for a water world. Remember?
I do. I can't wait. Oh, yes. Vacations Charity Commission.
Minister.
Yes, sir.
He said, we could turn Cross Island into a water park, a water world.
Yep.
And all they've done is let it sit there, and again, here we go. Let these foreigners use it with the racing boats. I could care less about those racing boats.
Yes.
They keep bringing them here, and they keep letting them use that property. We should be using that property for Bermudians, as they promised
Yes.
This government keeps on making promises and breaking them. It started in 2017, 2020, and it's still continuing today. They're making all these promises and they're breaking them. And it's bringing a lot of harm to the society. That's why a lot of our young people are leaving. They've had enough.
You got it.
Yeah.
You see? And in scripture, again, God says, a lot of the young people are upset because they're not making progress, because the older generation are in the way and slowing up this progress. You see?
Yep.
One last thing. Did you hear Dr. Lewis' show last night about the CARICOM?
No, in fact, I was in a meeting. I saw the flyers. I knew the gentleman, and I didn't get a chance to.
They had the gentleman by the name of David from
Commission.
Barbados on, and he was talking all about the CARICOM went into it into great debt. I think they probably have it recorded. If you could probably listen to it, had a lot of information in it. Well, I think I said to you once before, I was 100% against CARICOM.
Right.
I've changed my mind on that.
Good.
I'm 500% against it now.
I didn't see that coming. Okay, no problem. We'll have that. I'll listen to the show.
No, you intensify.
I'll listen to the show, and then I'll
listen to that man last night talking. He convinced me.
5 times as worth. I got you. It's 5 times as worth. So
That's like a hurricane.
When you listen to that tape will change your mind too.
Okay, now you got me fascinated. And you know me, I like a rabbit hole. I'll check that out.
Yeah. Okay. Take care.
Okay.
Right,
Thanks a lot.
care.
Take care. Really? Let's take that little break. I think.
Sure.
We'll be right back with more of the Corey Butterfield Show here on Magic 102.7 FM.
There's no denying
keep getting that wrong, really. It's supposed to, anyway. But we're back. Sorry, listeners, Billy and I had a little chat just now, and I think I should probably, in fact, I need to deal with something. Just before we went on that break, I was saying that the opposition was clearly in a bit of a civil war because there were some people calling for the leader to go, and if he didn't go, there must have been some people saying, no, stay. And so that's a civil issue, right? You got one side saying go. Really informed me during the break that the opposition leader is gone. And so the headline on Burn News is new OBA leader to be sworn in today. And there's a headline on what is that? So I apologize if I missed it, but
right.
I've been at a funeral today. I didn't realize, but the headline when I woke up this morning was under pressure.
Yes.
I guess that pressure lasted 6 hours. Okay. Well, any idea who the new opposition leader is?
I can guess.
You don't sound all of that. Shouldn't you be up, man? This is a new opposition.
Up for what? What opposition? What you talking about? Up against an opposition? For an opposition that don't exist?
Oh,
Come
really?
on.
You're being unkind.
No.
His Majesty's loyal.
Let me make this abundantly clear.
Okay, man.
If we had an opposition, we wouldn't have no show.
True. I mean, I can't argue. Boy, really? What you have for lunch on that?
Let me tell you something. I had no ignorance for lunch today. That's what I had.
You got an extra large order.
No, but I'm saying when you look at what's happening in our country, right? It's going that way because we don't have an opposition.
Well, I mean, I have said a lot about the political class we have, right? The entire political class. And so much like what we're talking about, that friends and family thing amongst themselves, right?
An opposition is supposed to bring balance to a country.
Yes.
And they're supposed to hold the government to the sword.
Indeed.
We're not getting that.
No. And so that's what I'm saying. So you should be excited now. So maybe we will.
With who? With who? The new what?
The new opposition leader that's going to be sworn in.
I'm not excited.
I think you're being judgmental and unkind.
No, I'm not. I'm being... Listen.
Okay, man. You know I'm going to get licks this weekend for beating you up, right? Poor Willie was trying to say how we all feel, and you...
Yes, exactly.
That's what they're going to do to me. We have a call, Willie. No, we don't.
And to be honest...
Yes, we do. No, we don't. Yes, we do.
Listen, my politics is not personal. Okay?
One moment. Yeah, Willie.
My politics is not personal. Mm-hmm. Okay? I represent grassroots.
Yes,
and my interest is for their well-being.
Yes.
Okay? I haven't seen it.
No, I'm with you. Okay? I was just being facetious.
All right.
Caller, are you there?
Yeah, I listen to the host too, really. I'm not that impressed.
Thank you.
I'm not impressed. I have my complaints.
Yes.
With the state government as well.
Yeah.
But if it was a choice, and we got the right people in place, yes, we can do better. But certainly what I listen to in the house and the type of opposition I hear is a joke. But anyway, I called.
Yes.
To elaborate about David Commission and his the show he was on last night, which I thought was fabulous, and he gave a pretty good insight. And certainly, I am very encouraged by us looking towards becoming full members of CARICOM. And I agree with him that, based on our situation in the diaspora, we need to certainly align ourselves with our own or our ancestry for various benefits. And one of the things that I was most impressed with is he gave his example of the situation where Trump wanted to impose tariffs, and of course that meant mainly. It ended up being mainly that he would go after larger ships, which CARICOM played a large role in that debate, which assisted Bermuda.
So for reasons like that, everything is positive for us to be a part of CARICOM, because whilst we was hearing it from our end,